Brilliant. How is fatherhood? Because I'm delighted because you've taken my title as the old. We're going, by the way. We're recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You're taking my title as the oldest dad in the car park.
Oh, mate, I tell you, I'm dreading it. Well, I'll take them to nursery. To be fair, around here, they're not young couples. I'm probably still the oldest, but they're not as young round here where we live now as most schools. So I'm getting away with it at the moment. Probably until they start going to proper school, because nursery's not the same, is it?
Yeah, you can dip in and dip out there, can't you? Just slide in and slide out without anybody going, flipping heck, look how old he is.
No,
he's old to be having kids. He's doing well, that old fella.
Leo, your granddad's here. No, I'm going to set some down.
How are you? I'm laughing because I was thinking how long it is since we've known each other, and I don't even want to say how many years it is, but I do find it. I can't stop. I think it's absolutely fantastic. You're a dad and all that, but I can't. There's something in me. It makes me laugh.
Come here,
Who's this?
Oh, he's just fell off. He fell off.
What have you just done to your daughter?
He just fell off there. He went to put that down there. Oh, it's a sore one. That's a sore one.
Oh, what did she do? What?
We're just redecorating one of the little rooms downstairs, so we've moved everything up to one corner. And I'm sat behind the kitchen table, and he's the other side. He's got on the bench. Tried to step on the couch to walk around the table to come round by me. And he's missed the setting. And give it that straight over.
Has he banged his head?
No, well, his head went on the settee, so I think he's like caught his inner thigh or something. Might have caught his willy on the bench or something.
Oh no.
He's all right. He'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, so how is fatherhood? Come on. Apart from knackering your kids on the sofas and when you're doing live TV, yeah.
It's full time. A 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, you can't leave them alone for more than 5 minutes. You're building dens, you're chasing them around, playing hide and seek. So it was a weird transition from singleton to 2 kids within sort of 18 months.
Yeah.
But no, I love it. They're absolutely brilliant. They're really good fun. They're really good kids. Mrs. really good with them. So yeah, it's obviously with the lockdown, it sort of exaggerates it more and makes it a bit more intense. But no, they're good as gold. We've had a really good time with them.
Great. What are you up to? What apart from the kids? What are you doing? I've seen you on Sky Sports a bit before the lockdown.
Yeah, I was obviously the mainstay was obviously after dinner stuff. Which I've probably been doing for 8 or 9 years. I would have thought maybe 8 years. Well, I sort of do and I don't. I enjoy it once I'm there and the crack with the lads and different places supporters and knocking around with them. It's hardly sort of a rocket science job, and I just go and tell my story, and people seem to like it. Fortunate enough, I was in a good team, so I get to talk about some good players. But just looking to try something different. So obviously I got involved with Sky. Only probably just before Christmas, a few months ago, really. Done a little bit for Sky. There's also the Indonesian TV channel. I've done a little bit for them on match days. Mola TV.
Right. What's that? How does that work? You're over here for them, are you?
Yeah, we're over here. So you go pitch side. So they have a studio in London, and then they'll come to us like just before the game and at half time. So we do little snippets of interview. So that's a pretty simple gig. Other than that, just trying to do a little bit of social media on Instagram. Way too old for that game, by the way. But
that makes me feel better because listen, I've done my research. I've Wikipedia'd you. I've done everything. I was looking at your Twitter and I thought that looks about as good as mine.
Yeah, I've tried Twitter twice now and just failed. So I've just given up on Twitter.
I think it's because I'm inherently lazy. I just can't be bothered.
Well, I'm the same. I don't keep in touch with my mates around the corner half enough. Never mind speaking to strangers, God knows where. So Yeah, so try. I think Instagram's a little bit friendlier and it's more picture based and photo based. So trying to get a little bit involved in that. And then I've actually got a nice call tonight. I got involved a few years ago with a guy called Nick Middleton in Sheffield, who's a Zen putting guy for golf.
Yeah, I saw a bit of this. Yeah, go on. What's all that about?
And then there's a guy he's introduced me called Marcus, who's a golf teacher that doesn't teach technically, teaches your own swing and walking movements, and very much you throw a stone like you swing a golf club. Alex Belt, who's a pro from Hull, who used to play football. Used to be a footballer at Hull. Got me into these. So we're having a bit of a conference call tonight on Zoom to talk about psychology, golf, football, and all things life and stuff like that. So that should be an interesting chat.
Are you into that kind of thing? Are you into the mental side of sport, of life?
I am. I've been into it for quite. I don't know whether many people will see that side of me, but when I was at United and I moved house, I moved sort of north to South Manchester around about, how old was I? I was probably about 19, 20 maybe. Met up with a mate of mine that was becoming my best mate, who was a golfer. We were both into a bit of psychology. I did a psychology course when I got to Leeds with a woman. That actually I put Andy Cole in touch with. Andy Cole did the same course and started banging goals when he was at United. And then since then I've just been into sort of that sort of thing. So we'll get a bit deep and meaningful tonight.
Oldham, I did an interview with Paul Walsh the other day, which was one, quite emotional, and two, inspirational, if you like. And it was almost, I think it was coming back to that what you do after football thing, after the highs, the being in a team, being in a dressing room, and then it's like life after football for footballers. Did you struggle with that at all?
I did, yeah. I think for the first couple of years I struggled with it. Hence the reason you end up going to the pub more. You don't really know what you want to do. I think the difficulty is you grow up from sort of being a young kid to just wanting to be a footballer. Then you're a footballer. Then you have no aspirations to be anything else, and don't really know where you want to go and what to do. So yeah, certainly for a year or two, maybe even longer. I don't know. I struggled with what to do, what I wanted to do. I don't know about the question people ask, who are you, who am I? But I think when you've had a passion, and I think the other thing with sport is because you're still only mid-30s when you jack it in, your mind is still quite active and knows what it's supposed to do. It's just your body that's letting your mind down, sort of thing. So difficult for sportsmen to retire. Did a bit of obviously reality stuff, which was good fun at the time for a couple of years, but really wasn't me. So I ducked out of that a little bit. And now obviously been landed the fatherhood role. So just trying to learn, I suppose, and become a good dad. There's no proper handbook for it, is there? You can't go and have lessons at school. And all that.
You proved that earlier on. Dropping your son on the end of the table.
That's social security round.
Yeah, of course. Tell me about, there's a new series of Harry's Heroes. Obviously, you've got to be careful what we say and all this kind of thing. But for people who haven't seen Harry's Heroes, tell people what it's about.
Well, it's Harry's Heroes is like the old school English team, England boys, England footballers, all a bit overweight and sat on the couch drinking too many beers and eating too many bags of crisps, getting everyone off the couch, getting them fit, making them aware of the health implications of the diet and the lifestyle they're leading, to get them fit for one last hurrah, if you like. And obviously last series we played the Germans at home and beat them ironically 4-2, would you believe? And the Germans, obviously being Germans, weren't over happy about it, so they wanted a rematch. So production company were pretty chuffed with that because it was good viewing figures last year. They've got the boys together again with a couple of additions, a couple of younger faces just to help with the legs on the pitch. And this year we went to for the rematch. We went to France and played Metz, an old Metz team. We went to Italy and played San Marino, old boys, and then finished in Germany with a rematch against the Germans. So again, a really funny show. Just the lads, when the lads, you know what it's like when the lads get together. It's like being back at school, and the jokes and the banter and everything just cracks on and flies around. And from good to bad to ugly, it's all in there.
Well, did it help you? Did you get fitter?
I did, yeah. Funnily enough, I got. You know what? I got quite fit for the first game. We had a 12-week period to get fit, and I watched my diet. I got myself fit. I put on a bit of muscle. I lost quite a bit of actual fat, weight, and felt quite fit, but still struggled with my body, my calves, my hamstrings were going after about half an hour of the game. So a bit disappointed that I didn't play that much longer. So this time around, I thought, you know what, I'm not really going to be bothered about getting extra fit. I'm just trying to try and keep myself on top of things and this and that. I didn't lose quite as much weight. It wasn't quite as long the period of time we had to get fit. And ended up lasting a full game. So got through a full game, played centre half, which was quite nice against with Mark Wright. We tried to clash for a few. Tried to be the big aggressive centre half.
Yeah, that's your game all over.
Not that that's anywhere near my game at all. But no, it was good. We had a good crack. We were away a few times, and the lads as usual. I mean, you know, Razor's absolutely mental. So he fills a room himself in more ways than one.
Listen, talking about the fitness, I was looking through your reality. I mean, we talked about it long and hard down the years. Just tell me about the boxing one, because that interested me. That you actually had a fight, didn't you? What was all that about? And did you? Because when you get on one, to be fair, you do go for it. And I know you're really trained and all that for that one.
Yeah, that was a weird one. It was an Irish TV show that came to me. And I was sort of the token English guy, and there were 6 celebs. So I think the celebs in Ireland were. I think there was a guy that had been in Big Brother over here. I can't remember his name. There was a guy that was ex-Gaelic footballer and a Garda policeman over there, Jack Sheedy, who I fought. There was another guy off the Dragon's Den, I think their version of the Dragon's Den, who got a few quid, big businessman. So there's a few people like that, and they gave us, I can't remember, 6 or 8 weeks to get fit, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I joined a local boxing gym down the road from my house at the time, and boxing, cycled there every morning, did my session, cycled back, got myself properly fit, and got myself up to sort of as much of a standard as you can as a boxer, as a beginner boxer, in 6 or 8 weeks. Went into the fight against this Jack Sheedy, who was about 1.5 stone heavier than me, which Barry McGuigan was part of the show. He said, listen, if someone was 2 pounds heavier than me, I would never have fought him back in the day. He said, this guy's like, I know he's 8 years older, but he's actually 1.5 stone heavier, so it's totally wrong. I don't agree with it. But they're putting you in with him. So I ended up getting in with him and getting absolute 3 2-minute rounds. And I have to say, the first round, I don't know whether it was Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday, he just absolutely battered me. I was nearly knocked over a couple of times, managed to stay on my feet a couple of times, got out the second round, was a little bit even. I sort of got onto his tactics of what he was doing. And I'll come out the second round. The bell went for the end of the second round. And I'm telling you what, I've been tired during some football matches, but nothing like this. I couldn't breathe. My head felt like it was 3 times bigger than it was. And I come out, and they were putting my stool in the corner. I had my hands over the top rope, and I'm breathing like out of every orifice that I can find. And the coach is like, "Come on, it's who wants it the most now." And I went, "You can have it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm not going out." You went, "You've got it. You've got 2 minutes left." So I went out last round, 2 minutes, and just breathed everything in I could, and kept catching with these uppercuts. I ended up breaking his nose. So there's claret everywhere. Like a Rocky film, claret everywhere. Broke his nose, and they still give him the decision on points. So one fight, one defeat.
I tell you what, though, that's in amongst your amazing celeb. That I think that's right up there, isn't it?
That was one of my favourites, to be fair. And if they'd have put me in with someone more my standard, more my weight, I think I would have enjoyed it a bit more. They then said, obviously, because it was a TV show and they were doing it over sort of 8 or 10 days, and they had like 3 or 4 fights, 2 fights one night, 2 fights the next, then while the rest rested. And they said he's broke his nose, so he's not going to be able to fight in the next one. Will you stay on and do the next fight? But the only thing is, we've got to pay you less, because the contract assigned was like per fight, and the money went off, and it was all going to charity. It was all for charity. It was all for my foundation. So I got like a small flat expenses fee, and then everything else was going to the foundation. They're like, oh yeah, we'll give you this much. I think it was like $5,000 for the first fight, $6,500 for the second fight, and then $10,000 if you make the final.
Yeah.
So I've done the first one. They're like, oh, we can get you $5,000, but the $6,500 is going down to $3,500 if you want to fight the second one. I went, you're expecting me to have a second fight after I've been battered for less money? I was like, no. I said,
thanks, goodbye.
So
what else was that? I had a couple up my sleeve I was going to ask you about. I mean, we never really talk about football, do we? No, we don't talk really about football. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you keep in touch with the United lads?
Not a little bit. I mean, David May, I send on text doing it. Obviously, he's involved in this business we're trying to do, the coaching thing. So Mays I speak to a little bit. Scholes you'll see from time to time. When I'm doing the TV for Mola and I'm at Old Trafford, I'll see the lads and have a chat to them there. But I don't generally socialise with many of them. We'll get together during golf days in the summer and maybe have a couple of beers in a couple of places. We do keep saying every time everyone gets together, and there's a few of us, we always say, someone needs to organise a day out where we have a game of golf and we stay over, we have a few beers, but to get everybody's diary free and have everybody stay over somewhere for a night and in a hotel and someone organise it, it's just a bit of a nightmare. So we end up never doing it.
Do they have? I mean, I know you have played in them, and there's been some big games. Those sort of old boys United games. Yeah. I mean, I've seen them against Real Madrid and all sorts of stuff. Is that still going on?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that. Well, the last time I played was I played Real Madrid home and away over a couple of years. I'm not sure last year. I'm not sure who they played. I'm not sure if they were playing Bayern Munich last year. I can't remember. But I didn't play last year.
Were they competitive, those games?
Oh, yeah. Properly competitive. You have Nou Camp. Did we end up drawing 2-2 or 3-3 in the Nou Camp, I think? Not in the Nou Camp, at Real Madrid. Bernabeu, yeah. We ended up drawing 2-2 or 3-3 over there. But they had, like, Figo, Guti, Zidane. Oh, what a player, by the way.
Really?
Oh, my God, yeah. What a player. Yeah, I mean, he was sort of like 10 yards. We had a corner. He was stood like 5-10 yards outside the penalty area. And the ball's come in. Keeper's taking the ball from the corner. Threw it to Zidane. He started running towards our goal. The ball's come over his shoulder that way. He's hardly looked. He's jumped with his legs straight out that way and virtually caught it on the end of his toe and brought it down and just carried on running. And all our lads just stopped and went,
yeah. To be fair, he did have that in his locker, didn't he? He always had that touch on the top of his foot, didn't he? On the end of the toe.
The shots of him, he's just sublime. He's just he's like a Rolls Royce, and he just purrs. At one point, I was running towards their goal with the ball, and he's behind me, and I can hear his footsteps. I'm like, "Where are you? Where are you?" And I'm panicking like a school kid. And I look that way, and I can't see him. The next minute, he just comes up, takes the ball off me like it's a 2-year-old. And runs the other end, and I'm rolling around on my backside.
Brilliant. I've got to ask you, last one for you. How's your golf? I know you're saying you're getting involved in the mental side of stuff and whatever tonight, but are you playing much? And where do you play? And do you get invited to some golf?
I'm at a club called Moortown, which is just in
beautiful,
between.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's stunning, absolutely stunning. We've got the AstroTurf in the garden for the chipping and the putting. And I'm 40.
To be fair, keep that. Your chipping was the one, wasn't it?
Chipping, I tell you, if you can chip and put, you've got half a chance.
Yeah.
But I'm 48 now. 49 end of May. So seniors tour next year. I'm trying to get myself down to some sort of decent handicap so I can possibly go on the have a go, try and get on the seniors when I'm 50.
No, seriously.
That's sort of that was part of a plan I put together before the kids come along. To be fair, and since
Hey, by the way,
kids
your
have come
chicken and pot will be good though in the back. Look on the bright side.
yeah, as long as I get it somewhere near the green, I'll be all right. I won't be able to hit it anyway. But so yeah.
Hey, does anybody coach you? Or you're very much sort of self-taught?
Well, I've had lessons off loads of people over the years, and I sort of know the sort of fundamentals, and I know what should and shouldn't be what you do, but I know what you do and what you think you're doing are two totally different things. But getting down this line with Marcus and Nick with the Zen golf and Zen mechanics, I think that'll help. But I think it's chipping and putting. If it, I'm getting near the green most of the time, or on the green most of the time. So if I can chip and put, then we'll see. And more time's a good test to keep testing yourself down.
Just a bit. Hey, listen, as always, it's too short, but lovely talking to you.
You too. Is that you back in the UK for good now?
Back for. I want you back for good. Yeah. It's like you follow the kids, don't you? They came back. They ended up in all kinds of schools from Dubai, just at different ages. My lad's playing cricket down at Kent, so we came back for him. It's like, I was just thinking, actually, it's quite quiet at the moment. It reminds me of a bear cave in our house, because they've all got rooms and they just sort of come out now and again, to get some food and then sort of go back in. There's not very much conversation going on. It's just sort of like, you know what I mean? And I was like, hey, we come back for this. Biar's has got the heating up to 170 degrees in the sun, because she's fed up and wants to go back. Yeah, so it's one of the fair, mate.
How's you like getting on with this cricket?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing really well. Yeah, he's in what's called the Kent Academy. Like they have he's 16 now, and he did winter training. I mean, to be fair to him, he's on a full fitness program. He has to do. They have 3 Zoom meetings a week. It's very professional actually. So he did really well last year. And it's just, we just don't know what's going to happen this year with the. I don't think there's going to be any cricket. Maybe there'll be a little bit, which is a big shame, because I thought he might have a decent season. So it's like everything, isn't it? Everything's just on hold.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Although we might last night about opening the golf courses in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't read it. I pick up the paper one day, I watch the news, and everybody's going, "Oh, that's it. 2021 is going to be nothing." And then you got people going, "Oh, hang on, we could be open." In fairness, I know in Denmark the golf course is opened if you have social distancing, one only on the tee. I think it was only 2 balls, one on the tee, etc., etc. So that'll be one of the first to open, I would imagine, even if the clubhouse isn't.
Yeah, just leave the clubhouse shut. Just let people on the course, as long as you show social distance.
Yeah, especially as the weather's good, anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Listen, I'll look out for you on Harry's Heroes.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're going to put it out. So the idea was they were going to put it out in sort of May time, just before the Euros.
I've seen the promos on the telly now. I think it starts in May.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. All
right, mate.
Yeah, there'll be some funny bits on it.
Brilliant. I'll speak to you soon. Stay in touch.
Listen, mate. Good to speak to you. Good to see you.
As always, love to the family. Take care.
Cheers, pal.